Good morning/afternoon, everyone. Today, we are going to explore a topic that is both deeply important and incredibly timely: women, the oppressed majority, and their pursuit of equality. We'll be diving into the challenges women face, the progress that has been made so far, and the ongoing journey towards social justice and empowerment. I'm excited to take you through this insightful and thought provoking discussion. Let's get started. Women actually make up the majority of the global population, which is a fact that often gets overlooked. Despite being the majority, they face ongoing oppression and numerous challenges across the world. This reality highlights a crucial point. Acknowledging women as the oppressed majority emphasizes why it's so important to tackle deep-rooted inequalities, social injustices, and cultural barriers. These obstacles continue to restrict women from fully participating and thriving in society, and addressing them is essential for creating a fair and inclusive world. Women make up more than half of the world's population, which is a significant demographic fact. This means that they are the global majority, influencing every aspect of society. Understanding that women represent over 50% of people worldwide helps us grasp the true scale of their social, economic, and political experiences. It's a crucial starting point when we talk about equality and representation on a global level. Although women make up the majority of the population, they still face significant barriers in many areas of life. One major issue is political underrepresentation. Women hold far fewer positions in government and leadership roles, which limits their influence on important decisions. Economically, women often encounter obstacles to accessing opportunities, especially when it comes to leadership roles and starting businesses. Education is another critical area where inequalities persist. In many developing regions, girls and women have less access to quality education, which creates systemic challenges that hold them back from reaching their full potential. These disparities create an unequal playing field that we need to address urgently. When we talk about roles and stereotypes, it's important to understand how deeply gender norms shape women's lives. These social and cultural expectations act like invisible chains, restricting what women are allowed to do and who they can be. Often, society primarily defines women as caregivers or homemakers. This narrow view limits their opportunities in education, work, and leadership, among other areas. These restrictions are not always obvious, but they are powerful. The invisible societal expectations keep reinforcing these limiting stereotypes, making it harder to break free and achieve true gender equality. Recognizing these invisible constraints is the first step toward challenging and changing them. Gender-based violence is a persistent and widespread issue affecting women all over the world. The statistics are alarming, showing consistently high rates of domestic violence, sexual harassment, and discrimination. These acts of violence don't just cause immediate physical injuries, but also result in deep psychological trauma that can have long-lasting effects. Beyond the individual harm, gender-based violence often leads to social exclusion, isolating survivors from their communities and support networks. This exclusion creates significant barriers to both economic and personal development, making it harder for victims to rebuild their lives. All of this highlights the critical need for effective protective measures and access to justice to combat this serious issue. Women face significant legal and institutional barriers that limit their rights and economic security. One major issue is the widespread wage gap, where women consistently earn less than men for comparable work. Additionally, many women have restricted access to property and inheritance rights, which undermines their ability to build wealth and financial stability. Accessing legal protections is also a challenge, as systemic obstacles often prevent women from defending their rights effectively. Altogether, these factors combine to hold women back from achieving full financial independence and equality under the law. When we look at the roots of oppression, it's important to understand how patriarchal systems have played a central role throughout history. These systems establish men's dominance by giving them control over property, political power, and social roles. As a result, women were placed in subordinate positions, a reality that has been deeply embedded in societal structures for centuries. These historic power imbalances didn't just disappear. They continue to shape gender relations around the world today, influencing everything from laws to cultural expectations. Recognizing this historical context is key to understanding why gender inequality persists and how entrenched these dynamics really are. When we talk about oppression, it's important to recognize that women's experiences aren't all the same. They are shaped by a range of factors like race, class, where they live, and their sexual orientation. This diversity means that oppression looks very different depending on these intersecting identities. This is where the concept of intersectionality comes in. It shows us how different forms of discrimination overlap and interact, creating unique and often more complex challenges for women, especially those in marginalized communities. Because of these overlapping forms of oppression, it becomes harder to apply one-size-fits-all solutions for gender equality. We have to understand and address these complexities if we want to make meaningful progress. As we look at the achievements and advances in the fight for women's rights, it's important to highlight a few key areas. First, feminist movements around the world have played a crucial role in expanding voting rights and increasing political participation for women. This progress has helped ensure that women's voices are heard in the decision-making processes that shape our societies. Next, legal reforms have been a major victory. Thanks to persistent advocacy, laws promoting equal pay and prohibiting discrimination have been implemented in many places. These changes are essential for creating fairer workplaces and breaking down systemic barriers. Finally, access to education and career opportunities has improved significantly. More women today can pursue higher education and enter professional fields that were once difficult to access. These advances are a testament to ongoing efforts to remove obstacles and create more equitable opportunities for all women. Together, these achievements mark important milestones in the continued push for gender equality. Even with the progress we've made, there are still persistent challenges ahead. One major issue is the ongoing gender pay gap and economic inequities. Women continue to earn less than men and face fewer economic opportunities, which limits true equality. Another critical problem is the continuation of gender-based violence and harassment, which remains a serious barrier to safety and equality for women across the globe. Additionally, women are still significantly underrepresented in leadership and decision-making roles, which means their perspectives and voices are often missing from key areas where change happens. Lastly, many women face serious barriers when it comes to accessing healthcare and reproductive rights, highlighting the urgent need for sustained efforts to ensure these fundamental rights are available to all. These are the challenges we must confront as we move forward. When we talk about empowerment and equality, the key is collective action. It's not something that can happen in isolation. We all need to come together to support and uplift women. Raising awareness about gender issues plays a huge role here. People need to understand the challenges to help dismantle the barriers. Beyond awareness, supporting legal changes is critical. Policy reforms and strong legal protections provide the framework that safeguards rights and promotes fairness. And none of this will be effective without community engagement. Educating and involving local communities ensures that the change is both meaningful and sustainable. Ultimately, collaboration among individuals, organizations, and governments is what will drive lasting progress toward empowerment and equality. Women make up the majority of the global population, yet they still face systemic oppression that affects many aspects of their lives. This ongoing inequality calls for urgent attention and meaningful action. It's crucial that we work towards social justice and equality, so women can enjoy the rights, opportunities, and freedoms they rightly deserve. When we achieve this, the positive impact extends beyond individuals. Entire societies benefit from a more just and equitable world, leading to stronger communities and greater progress for all.